Okay, I think I'm live. How you guys doing? So, long time no see. I know it's been like probably about a week, but I had to do kind of a last minute video just to give you guys some important updates because I know that I've kind of been gone for a little bit. And I'm sorry that I'm not streaming as much as I usually do. But just know that a lot of the reasons are really just because of what's going on behind the scenes, and that's actually why I'm here to talk about it while I'm doing this live. Okay, there we go. But so I woke up early this morning and I was doing some edits for Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 Part 2, and it just happened that I finished the editing for Poppy Playtime and I was submitting the edits and I made an error. I accidentally re-edited an already edited video for Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 Part 1, and it kind of like threw me off, and I was like, wait a second, how the hell do I cancel this? Well, unfortunately I can't. So Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 Part 1 that is currently uploaded in high quality and edited version in the video section actually has to be remade again. So I actually was kind of upset about it, and I was like, well, shit, then I just basically botched another video. I checked my PC just now. Thankfully, I actually managed to have a copy of the original video, so I will be resubmitting and re-uploading Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 Part 1 and doing the edits and then releasing it alongside, paired with Poppy Playtime Chapter 2, probably about 1 hour after the Part 1 edited version resubmits. So, you know, expect 2 videos at once. I will be editing later Ghost of Yotai Part 7 and Part 8, which is the last 2 videos of Ghost of Yotai. Once I have those edits, I will release them, as well as Devil May Cry 1 for the full game. And I will also be doing the Plague Tale number 2, which is Requiem for Part 1. I'll be doing those uploads and edits as well. But after that, basically, I will be doing edits starting from the most recent video down to the oldest video, which is dating back to Alan Wake 1 Part 1. Anything that was made prior to Alan Wake 1 will probably have to be remade. It's not even a probably, they all do need to be remade because the amount of dramatic changes like I have done over streaming over the many months since like December of 2024 has been such a big change for audio, as well as 1440p visual at a stability is like a dramatic, huge difference compared to when I first started streaming. So a lot of my old videos are almost unwatchable. And at the time I was still dealing with a lot of like learning about equalizing and filtering, which a lot of YouTubers are completely incorrect about a lot of the ways that they were explaining it. Even the biggest professionals, like I had to do this all on my own. And you know what they tell you on the internet for most of the tutorials when it comes to certain things, majority of them are either outdated or very wrong, which is like absolutely insane. I should be doing the tutorials at this rate for YouTube because at least I explain shit properly and actually give you the awareness of things that you aren't aware of, such as how those filters and equalizers don't work for every single microphone. Every microphone is built different, such as the Blue Yeti that was meant to be a very sensitive kind of microphone. That's what it's for. And this is the reason I actually have to talk away from it so far away, is because if you actually get too close to it, unlike the Shure SM7B, which is one of the professional grade studio microphones, that one you're meant to talk directly into and have a very high volume because it's a very low volume kind of microphone. Is that this one, you have to stay the hell away from it. You know, it's like, it's that bad. Otherwise it'll crack and pierce your earpiece. But the thing is that, yeah, I should be doing tutorials at this point, but that's not really the kind of content I want to do. However, there is one extremely important thing that I need to talk about, is about the eviction. My mom fell behind on rent again, and it was kind of at a very, unexpected time, but I understand. But, the thing is I do have, like I said, faith in her for, because it's not really much of a big gap in the rent. And so I decided that, I told my mom, just gather what you can. I have until like December 14th at the last day, but I have like until 5:30 p.m. of that day. So I like to get it done by December 13th is what I told her, because I don't want to have to stress about it, go to work, and be woken up like extremely early just to get this all done. So I would say ideally December 13th is what I told her, and just, borrow from a friend or something like that. And, we get paid on the 19th, so you can just pay him back, So dealing with that kind of put me into an extreme frustration, because as you guys know, I have been dealing with this since December of 2024. It was at its worst around like Alan Wake 2 and roughly about Bully. So Bully was around the time where it all started, and Alan Wake 2 was where it got like a lot worse. And then somewhere after that, it was like, just on and off dealing with the same thing. But this one just kind of hit out of left field. And it's just like, it put me in a bad mood. And I was just already at this point, I was like, I've been dealing with being awake 18 hours a day. I basically like spend those 18 hours waking up at 1:30 p.m., barely even trying to make it to public transportation, spend 2 hours on a tweaker ass, ghetto ass, gangster, fucking, junkie ass society in this city. And, I deal with that going to work, and then I have to deal with fucking gambleaholics, alcoholics, and people with ill manners, which is why I actually get very serious with these people. Is like, I tell them to get the fuck off my fucking game if you're gonna bring that shit ass attitude, to this casino, because I don't get paid enough to deal with your bullshit, is what I'll tell them. And I talk to people like this because they seriously do come into the casino and act like as if this is party land, and they get this very entitled kind of personality, and I'm one of their most prime dealers at this casino. I deal probably about 53 games, give or take. And blackjack's just one, roulette's a second one, European roulette's a third one, baccarat being a fourth one, pie cow being a fifth one. You see what I'm saying is that I deal 53 games. Like, the amount of knowledge that I retain as a dealer is absolutely astronomical compared to like regular dealers that are really slow, for one, very unetiquette, for second, with the way that they deal. They're very messy. Their racks are very messy. And I deal like the speed of fucking lightning. I literally always have people tell me how like insane the speed I deal is, and not to mention how accurate, and not to mention how like beautifully done it is. But the thing is that even as capable of a dealer as I am, unfortunate to say, unless you know somebody in this city, you're not moving up, And that's why I've been stuck at this piece of shit location. And unfortunate also to say is that, exactly, see? And see, the problem also that I face is that I have been to those six-figure casinos. Trust me, I have. I've been to 9 casinos in a year and a half. I was at Planet Hollywood as a party pit dealer. I was at, the Harrah's. Okay, I was at the D as a dancer. I was at the Golden Gate as a dancer. I've been to the Cowgirls party pit for the Binions. I've been to Excalibur. I've been to Golden Nugget for the poolside model dealers. Okay, there's a lot of casinos I've been to, and I've learned all of my skills from all of these casinos, but I was trained on my own because I'm a self-taught autodidact, okay? And I've pushed my way through all the way to the top, only to be knocked down to the bottom because, unfortunate to say, in those party pit girl kind of casinos, there's a lot of catty women and a lot of them who like to talk a lot of shit, and they know a certain person that's in a very high position, and if they don't like you, they can get you out very quickly. And the thing is that I just don't put up with catty women's bullshit. You know, that's just like I don't deal with customers' bullshit either. You know, I know that I seem like a very friendly person on the internet, and trust me when I say I am a very friendly person when I'm online. And I know how to retain a conversation very well as talk about very intellectual things. But the thing in various forms too, from science to engineering to electronics to mathematics to tacticians, combat, survival, corruption, society, people, psychology, and all kinds of things, you know, because I spent 20 years in a dark room like this by myself, learning and studying and literally experiencing these things in person through trial and error, becoming wiser as I went on. That's why I seem so old in the mind, old in the soul, you know? And time is a lot slower when you spend it all in this room. Trust me when I say you guys think that your life goes by quick. Mine goes by 3 times slower, because imagine sitting every single day of your life mostly by yourself, no one to talk to, no one to distract you, like family, friends, and all that other stuff. Me, when you spend all that time by yourself, you have nothing better to do besides study and study and study and learn and distract yourself with things that improve your life, you know? And trust me when I say it was very depressing, but at the same time, they say the smartest people usually are the most loneliest, you know? But point being said, about the eviction. If I should not make it past the eviction, because I've been battling this shit since 2024, I don't really know what the fuck to expect, okay? Like, I've been doing this tent project and spending out of pocket for all of this upgrades on streaming, and the tent project, which you guys know is an illegal thing, okay? But I'm using literally bioscience and botany and all this other stuff, chemistry, to literally do this tent project, because that is what I excel in. And it's not to mention one of the reasons why I said it was going to be the super funding that's going to skyrocket me to literally the fucking moon, about doing all the funding for my future projects, such as the game designs for the game that's inspired by Hotline Miami. And it's my own idea, you know, that I'm going to be putting in out there. It's not going to be a direct ripoff of Hotline Miami. It's going to be an inspired idea, but it's not going to be the same. And at the same time is that I have another game I want to design, which is Limaway, that's based off of me. It's about my life, as well as like put into that character, just like how the Vigilante game that's inspired by Hotline Miami, for the one that I'm doing, is actually also about my life, but about the future that I wanted to put out there, you know? And so in a sense, when I've been streaming since day one, if I do manage to get past the eviction, I will continue to stream, only because as much as I get frustrated with the analytics and growth and all these billions of factors that I can put in as to why I struggle to grow compared to like people elsewise out there, is that people come into my stream and they think that I'm a male to female. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, I thought it was a pretty chick. And next thing you know, they bounce off because they think I'm some dude or something. But it's backwards, but they don't know that. The thing is that the first thought that comes to their mind when they see me is that I must be male to female, because that is the most common thing. You don't really run into female to males, and I was a female to male, and I stopped taking testosterone a very long time ago. But the thing is that people don't get that in their head. You see what I'm saying? So when you have billions of women out there, billions, that are streaming, they would rather watch the half-nude woman on Twitch. They would rather watch the babe, or the one that has the popular name, or the one that has, like, you know, already a big ass crowd to talk to. It's hard for people like me, and especially like me that's being part of the LGBT or formerly part of the LGBT, to especially even grow, because the LGBT is hated so fucking much around the whole goddamn world. And if I have to dig through thousands of pieces of information to just prove my point, you know I would. But it's pointless, because you guys already are aware that hatred about people like me, okay, exists everywhere, from Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, fucking Facebook, YouTube, okay, even on the news, even the fucking United States president, okay. The whole point is that everywhere I go, there's always some fucker out there pinned at the top talking about something in the comments section about people like me, you know, and making a fucking joke out of us, and then blah, 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 and blah, you know, degrading us to the degree that almost the whole fucking world looks at people like me like a clown, okay? This is why I'm so serious with people and so tough and almost damn borderline hostile to people in person, because this is the shit that I deal with. And now you could probably say in your mind, oh, it's just online people, it's online people. It's not online people. Because these are the same people you walk by every single day. They're just on their phone, you know? They have thousands of accounts that they can make a brand new email, brand new account, brand new username. And if they get banned, they come in with another fucking identity. See what I'm saying? These are just the same people we walk by all around the world, where we're going shopping, we go to a mall, we go to a restaurant, it's the same fuckers. You know? The children out there grow up to be the same fuckers. You see what I'm saying? And I get it, the whole world isn't like that. But the 99% majority is, you know? And this is one of the reasons why I also get a little upset, is because I know that this is a massive factor into why I am being shoved down, you know? And I've dealt with this in both real life, and now I'm dealing with this. When I was streaming back in 2017, only the trolls and the hate comments was a lot more prominent back then, which is actually why I stopped streaming. Now it's just click off, click off, click off. You see what I'm saying? I will still continue streaming, only because I do have passion. People misunderstand the whole purpose of why I stream. You know, they don't understand why I pick old games. They don't understand why I picked a certain type of content, or why I bring up these certain conversations, is because the thing is, I'm doing one massive super plan. You guys don't understand this. I have to break this down into pieces, one video after the next, and it really does take strength. It takes a lot of strength to stay positive and strong. But if here's, before I forget, and because I do have to go to bed soon. I kind of slept earlier, and then, you know, I've woken up at a time I'm not supposed to, and I gotta wake up in about 3 hours, but I'll try to finish up. The thing is that I've been planning something really massive for 20 years, okay? And I've been kind of re-editing the plan as I went along and got older and more mature and more smarter and all this other stuff. There's a massive super plan that I've been working on. I know it seems like I'm going to do a lot, like the treasure hunting, the world exploration, the caving, the diving, the fucking, going to haunted places to prove if this shit is real, all kinds of things. Because the thing is that I've been stuck in this room for 30 fucking years. And the thing is I get really sick of being here. It's like a prison. My life has been missing a family and friends and hanging out and all this other shit that other people do in their normal life. And, when I get pissed off or angry online about it, people are like, oh, just ignore them, just ignore them. You're talking about 99% of the population. Okay, you need to understand that 99% of people do not like people like me. And it is very lonely, okay? It is very lonely, and it's not just the factors of just people hating on me. It's the factors that society is very corrupt and nobody believes in friendship anymore, okay? I have noticed this in even non-trans people, non-LGBT people. There are fucked up families everywhere. There are fucked up friends everywhere. There's fucked up society everywhere. There's messed up inflation, corruption with the whole industry of corporations and organizations and financial and GDP and the social economic elite, the presidents, the fucking prime ministers, all this shit. Everything out there is so fucking goddamn warped that everybody's getting jaded and fucked up in the head. And no one believes in true friendship anymore because everybody's in survival mode now. And it's very hard to establish bonding and friendship in survival mode because everybody's kind of just trying to make it through each day. You see what I'm saying? No one has the willpower or the belief in themselves or other people to find a new best friend, to find a new lover that is not going to just use you for money or prey on you or manipulate you or abuse you. You see what I'm saying? So when you have all these millions of things coming in, and not to mention piling that on top of hatred and disgust and all this other shit, you see what I'm saying? Is that it makes it very difficult for people like me to even make a notice, Everybody's been in survival mode, like you said, for too long, and people want real connections. That's why I'm so different from other people's, because I don't try to play around with you, Now there's a big difference when I stream. I will tell you why. Versus the person that I am behind the scenes. The person I'm behind the scenes doesn't talk, okay? The real me doesn't talk. I am a very silent person. I'm also extremely serious, and I'm also very strong in the presence. When I stand near people, I everybody looks at me, everybody always tells me I look like I could kill someone, I could be some badass or something like that. And they're not far from wrong. But it's not that the point is that I'm not intentionally putting it out there. I've just become like that because that is an adapted personality that I've become after all the shit I've been through. The real life me can't be who I am at home, outside, because of people. Because if I let my guard down, people take advantage of it. If I let my guard down, people think I'm weak. If I let my guard down, people start shit with me and they think they can walk over me. And I live in a very ghetto-ass, really, really deranged city. And I just don't have the room to be the kind, compassionate, innocent self that I am, that I want to be at home. You see what I'm saying? We all know this. The world's a dangerous place. It always has been. And so that is why my personality has become like that. That's why I said I have two halves of my life, two different lives, two different interests, two different types of goals, two different whole types of personalities. You see what I'm saying? But at home, I can be my real self. And the real self, me, before all of trauma and all this stuff, I don't get to be that very much. The real me is actually quite compassionate, cares too much for people, animals, people, friends, family oriented, truly family oriented, I don't expect nothing from people. I only expect their true, their true side of them. Like, are they a true friend or are they a true family member? Are they gonna, be, meeting me halfway, instead of me always doing all the effort for them, that is me. Because I care for life so much that it bothers me about corruption enough to want to do something about it. That is the whole purpose of the super plan. But the whole point of me streaming is just fragments, the tip of the iceberg, for people to learn the pre-events of what's going to be later in that super plan. Kind of think of it as I'm limited right now to what I can do. So that's the whole point of the tent project. I've been planning this tent project for a year, since the time I basically hit rock bottom. Because every time I get knocked down, I find a new thing to go straight to the backup. This time I'm not relying off of a job or an organization or whatever the hell. Instead, this is something much bigger than that. And I get it, a lot of people will look at me like completely different about it, like they're like, oh, it's not ethical or it's not moral. You know what? Everybody around this fucking world does something unethical or immoral. There's streamers all up the fucking ass, YouTubers all the fucking ass, and, you know, Instagrammers out there preying on you, making fake ass content, you know, putting up their kids on the internet or their animals on the internet, and they do things behind the scenes that you guys have no idea what it's doing to the animal. You know, they could be abusing them or bothering them to try to get them to do something just to get that one good footage, and they edit it and edit it and edit it and put in the good pieces, but you don't see the bad pieces. You know, this is the same thing with YouTubers always preying off of your subconsciousness. Oh, don't forget to click and subscribe, and click and subscribe and all this other fucking crap, you know? Or they have streamers out there, gold bars, follower bars, subscriber bars, all this other things like subathon, you know, using their fucking body and all this other stuff to look good or just whatever, to mooch off of you. There's so much fucked up shit out there. Okay, you know, it's not just me doing these things with the 10 project that you can call unethical or moral. It is all over the place in the legal way, but you guys just don't, you know, you don't think about it, is what I'm saying. When I manage to get past this eviction, if I don't, well, I don't know how long it's going to be until I stream, but I expect that I will. And if I do, let's just say for right now that whatever's going on in that tent has been actually successful. I'm probably about a month, maybe a month and a half away from an actual finished product. And when it finally does become finished, you know, I have to make a new one and a new one and a new one. It takes about 2-3 months. But the thing is that I'm going to schedule it to be consistent because it's going to get me out of the working field. It's going to get me into full-time streaming. It's going to get me into full-time funding and financing the game design and the treasure hunting equipment, the exploration equipment, the firearms, the combat equipment, all this other shit, you know? And you guys have no idea what the hell real content I've been planning. It's bigger than you think, you know? And of course, it's going to be a slow process because I'm not a multi-millionaire or a multi-billionaire, but I retain an assload of information that is going to help me to push out that content a lot faster than you think. This is the reason why I started studying and tinkering with the whole qualities of like microphones and equalizers and 1440p and all this shit. I've been learning all this stuff because I didn't know all this shit. I didn't be a streamer for my whole life, you know, but I learned it all within a matter of months, and that is the improvement of now. And I hope you guys get to see it, you know, I really do. I hope you do. But the thing is that when I do come back, if I make it past the eviction, I will continue gaming, and this is where I can talk about the gaming. I've already had this debate many times. A lot of people say my games are old, or, you know, games like, you know, people are like, oh, it's not the mainstream content. I'm gonna tell you something. 99% of the world does the same thing as everybody else. Every single person out there searching the same thing, wearing the same thing, getting interested in the same thing, doing the same thing, following the same footsteps as other people, because everybody tries to learn off the main guy, and the main guy's teaching all of the other people the same thing he did or she did, and now everybody's following it. Me, I don't follow other people. Okay, I'll take a little portion of what I think is good about them or what they're saying, and I'll put it into my own way. Because if you follow in the footsteps of other people, well, you're just gonna get slammed anyway. You know, I do things my way. I already know that if I was to go mainstream gaming, such as like all the fucking popular games or whatever, you're gonna battle against multi-millions of people out there, and you're squished somewhere in a needle in a haystack, okay? But at least by doing the old games, I am still in a community that is so small that it actually gets my name out there. It starts to slowly make me be seen a lot easier than scrolling 200,000 pages to find that one person. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I started with old games, okay? And eventually the old games are going to come to an end because there's only so many of them. You know, eventually it's going to catch up to the modern games, and as brand new modern games come out, I will buy them and I will play them, like the new Resident Evil that's coming out, or the new Souls-like game that's coming out. I can't even remember what the fuck it was called. It was somewhere in the library or something like that. Let me see this. But my whole point is there will be brand new games, just not every single one of them is always going to be brand new. But I'm waiting on Crimson Desert, I'm waiting on Code Violet, I'm waiting on Resident Evil. Okay, I'm waiting on this Poppy 4 to get a little cheaper. You know, I'm waiting on Detective Rainy Night, and I have no idea what's going on the Switch, but eventually, you know, I will check it and see what else there is. But the thing is that, you know, being part-time streamer, I can only go through games so quickly. And this is why I have a rotation in my content, is because not everybody's always interested in the same shit. Some people don't like horror games, some people don't like fun games, some people don't like childlike games like the Monster Boy, which is actually a very impressive game, by the way. You know, the thing is like, you know, that's why I do the game rotations, is because it leaves room for people of all kinds to find something in their mood to watch, you know. But it's just a start. Streaming games is just the start of my content. It's for you to learn a little bit about me piece by piece, you know, have these certain conversations, play these certain games, and treat them genuinely for the way that gaming was supposed to be. Gaming has become monetized too fucking much. It's become episodic, you know, like Life is Strange, you know, where they try to release it in pieces, or fucking Call of Duty, where they try to release it in pieces, or they try to shove it in your face, like Call of Duty, not Call of Duty, like mobile app games. Okay, they do it. What was that damn game called? Assassin's Creed Odyssey did it. Oh, buy a different flag, buy a different headpiece for your ship. Oh, buy a different color for your ship. Oh, buy different costumes for your your crewmen, you know. Or you can buy real in-game currency for $100, and they're charging up the ass for all of this stuff because they know people will pay for it. And now they're talking about turning games into $100 or more, and turning consoles into $1,000 or more in the future. This is the shit I'm talking about. Gaming has become fucking warped. Fortnite, League of Legends, Roblox, fucking Minecraft, all this other garbage out there that you can name that has been for some reason stuck at the top since years. I don't understand it. You know, my whole point is that I'm trying to bring back what gaming was truly about, to truly appreciate games for what they really did for us when we were alone. Because when you're alone, this is why RPG games were such a big thing, you know? Exactly. They try to milk fucking everything. It's not just me playing old games. It's me trying to bring up a point about something that people are completely missing. I don't want to have to prey on content for just because it's a big thing, or just because, oh, it'll get me a name, or possibility it'll get me a name. I'm trying to bring back what games need to really be about. Okay, it needs to be all in one. It needs to be impactful, because even brand new games that I've been buying, like Silent Hill F, fucking Chronos The New Dawn, all these other fucking games that I can name, and they're fucking half-ass made. You see what I'm saying? And they're charging it $60, $70, and they're half-ass fucking made. It feels like an indie game. And you see what I'm saying? And then when I do play indie games, and I know that they're poorly shit made, or if I play brand new games and I know that they're poorly shit made, I don't try to hype it like all these other fucking people out there, you know, on YouTube and Twitch. I will tell you this game is absolute fucking trash, because I just don't give a shit to have people's hype, you know? I want people to understand the reality behind things, and that's what makes me different. But at the same time, being a streamer, I guess I was losing a little bit of focus on that because I didn't know what to do at this point. People complained about, oh, my games are too old. I've watched my longest viewers disappear one by one. I've watched my analytics go fucking down, you know? But the thing is that that's all I was focusing on, and eventually I was playing games that I didn't give a shit about. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, most of all these games that I selected, I actually did want to try or play or continue to do. This is why I came up with the game rotation, because before I wasn't doing the game rotations. But now I am. I'm adapting to being able to do the things I want. But at the same time, keeping a generalized balance to the type of content for other people to watch. And every video, I try to at least teach something to people, you know, learn a little bit, whether it's me in the past, me in the now, me in the future, or the plans or updates or whatever, you know, it makes it worth it. But eventually at some point, you know, I'm hoping that when I bypass all these old games, I will eventually be able to do modern content more often. But at the same time, you know, I will still stay true to my nature where I will tell you if a game is absolutely shit or not, you know, because that's just how I am. But, you know, just know that it's not going to be forever. And eventually, as the tent project takes off and all this other crap, and I don't have to fucking work for this goddamn company or even struggle off my ass to, or I'm always battling eviction, you know, is that I will eventually finally be able to shove out the real content that I want to do, such as the treasure hunting and all this other stuff, you know? Just know that I am trying. I do get frustrated, and there are times I want to give up. I'm glad that you love it, and thank you. And, you know, I always appreciate you guys always being here, you know? I know you can't be there forever or all the time, but the thing is I always appreciate when you guys are there, you know? This is why I put so much effort into this stuff. But eventually, at some point, I am going to be able to fund everything. The game designs, the treasure hunting equipment, the other shit that I plan to do, you know, even including making a live action movie about the games later once they release, you know. And I'm not talking a shit low quality high live action. I'm talking about going full on making like a real amazing movie, you know, about this, and I want it to be perfect. These are the only two games I plan to design, and the movie is only going to be one, so I want them to be perfect, you know. And I don't give a shit if anybody complains about it, like Hollywood or directors or investors or all this stuff. I want it to be made the way that I imagined it, you know. But all these things are going to happen in the future. They're all part of one massive picture. It's going from the tent project to funding. The tent project will fund me to be full-time streamer and full-time, you know, doing content such as the game design and getting the music licenses and all this artists, and not to mention the graphic designers and the coders that are going to be necessary to help actually design the game to be perfectly made, you know. And finally, once the game releases and it starts to sell and fund everything else, then that funding can go to the live action movie or the second game, and the second game can go to the live action movie. You see what I'm saying? Because it will fund all these things like a train, you know. And then eventually, once all that's done, there comes the big picture, the one that I haven't really talked about. But eventually that'll come later, you know. But my thing is that, yeah, it's a lot. But when you have one life that you spent 30 years behind the scenes locked away, you know, you want to do everything. Like, you want to experience life for what it really is and start to kind of fight back at what caused it to be that way, which is corruption and warped society and all this other shit, you know? So you'd be surprised what you want to do with your life when you have nobody left in it, you know? one day maybe you'll understand it when it comes to a time in your life. Hopefully you'll never have to go through what I did, but point being is that when you lose all those people in your life and you're just kind of by yourself, this is why I've been telling you, is that when you have none of that stuff like a title or uniform or achievements, accomplishments, what the hell's left of you as a human being? What's keeping you going? You start to find different reasons to be alive and pursue, because now you don't have a life that's dependent on other people being there distracting you. You'd be surprised what you would be capable of. I mean, look at all those vigilante movies and all that stuff. They lost everything. Punisher, fucking who the hell else? Like there's a lot of things. Spawn, Deadpool, there's a lot of things you can think about. But they all had a reason for what made them want to do those things in the future, And for me, I had my own. Before, I wanted to live a normal life just like you, like have friends, hangouts, barbecues, spend time with family, see your grandma, see your cousins, and all this other stuff. But it's been gone since 2009 for me, 2010. It's been 15, almost 16 years, And at this point, it's like, you watch people grow up, your friends move on, people move on, society's becoming more shit and shit and shit, and it's harder to make a best friend anymore that's not trying to, mooch off of you or lie to you or flake on you. You see what I'm saying? It's so you start to focus more on things that you never even imagined yourself to do later. But that's another time for, a talk for another time. Either way, I hope I make it through this. I'm pretty, it is a long time, it really is. And I know that there's other people out there just like me. Trust me, I know. I was an ordinary dumbass, like, half of society out there at one point too. Airheaded and didn't know shit about nothing, didn't want to know shit about nothing, only cared about, taking the piss and fucking bullshitting with friends, not being an adult, not want to grow up, not want to take anything serious. And I hope so too. Fingers crossed, right? And when I do come back, I'll continue gaming. I'm waiting on those big games to release. I really wish that I could show you guys the 10 project, but only certain people have actually seen the physical photographs or anything like that to prove it, even including my coworker, which you guys should already by now know which one that is, who shows up in my streams once in a while, Blunt Thinking. But like lots of people, including those who are working at my workplace, have subscribed to my YouTube channel, and they already know about the 10 project too. My whole goddamn management and everything, and all my coworkers know about it. They've been knowing about it, and they understand my reasons for it. But it's actually going very successly. And no, it is not. It's not marijuana. Okay. But my whole point is that, my thing is, yeah, it's going well. I just need a little bit of time. That's all. Either way, I'm ready to, finally go to bed. I will promise to re-upload the high quality video of Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 Part 1, because I have to delete it and re-upload it, re-edit it, because my dumbass made the mistake of re-editing the edited version on accident when I meant to do part 2. So just we'll see what happens. I'll be back on Wednesday and Thursday because I'm off on Wednesday, Thursday, and I'll try to finish up some of these games. I actually really want to get back into Elden Ring, I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, the 13th and 14th are the most crucial times, so if I don't make it past that, then fuck. But if I do make it past it, you guys will know. I'll make like a post on YouTube or something about it, Either way, I will see you all later, and have a good night. thank you for, always watching my videos and everything, and thank you. I will see you later as well, Henning, and good night, Dumbala, and I will see you all elsewise as well. Have a good night, everybody. You too. Good night.